Radiant, a refreshing innocence. Aww.
Oh, Amanda Fan isn't your only fan, so you better get used to it. Your photo shoot made a huge impression.
Well, on this guy for sure.
No, not only on this guy, on a whole lot of people. Even Chiro, Mr. Photographer Extraordinaire.
Are you serious? He gave me such a hard time.
Yeah, well, he's one of your biggest supporters now. In fact, the way he tells the story, he discovered you.
Well, I'm sure Erica will love sharing that credit.
It doesn't matter. You see, if you can win over a prima donna like Chiro, that means you've got the magic touch, sweetie. You may not be a supermodel yet, but it sure seems like you're on a launch pad. At least to me and Jake.
I finally got it.
Got what?
I know who's sending these.
Hey, you don't look like the happy camper.
I'm just frustrated with Damon.
And that bad attitude of his.
Well, you know, actually, I can deal with his less than winning personality. It's his refusal to get evaluated for ADHD or some other treatable disorder that gets me.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to offer your help to somebody and then have it turned down. It's even tougher when your concern isn't purely professional.
What's that supposed to mean?
Maybe you're not just seeing a troubled kid in there. Maybe you're seeing your brother Ted.
Dr. Robert,
You know, you're right. Damon does act like Teddy, but I didn't start seeing that until I heard how badly his father treated him.
No. Your father wasn't particularly big on handing out respect either. I was a witness to that.
I always felt so guilty about that back then. I mean, I was always a favorite child.
Oh, wait a minute. You have absolutely nothing to feel guilty about with Ted or Damon. You hear me?
I know. I mean, I certainly don't want to bring my feelings into the medical treatment that I'm trying to get for Damon. I'm just afraid that he's going to swagger himself into jail.
Why don't you let me have a crack at the kid? They might have an idea or two.
Like what?
Different approach to the problem. I spoke to Tad about it earlier. I mean, it's not a medical approach, but I mean, it's worth a shot.
Are you absolutely sure that Damon is your son?
I have the blood test to prove it.
And he doesn't know?
No. That's the thing, he can't. I can't tell him until Hillary's on board. It wouldn't be fair to her. That's impossible because she's off somewhere in Europe.
Well, now I know why you've been wrapped up in his case.
And why I'm afraid to blow it.
Oh, I cannot see that happening. You're bending over backwards to help him out.
I mean, it's so complicated. I can barely get through it myself. I mean, Hillary was the first woman I ever really loved, and I was so terrible to her. I tell you, it's one thing to go through life with regrets, but it's another thing when a piece of your life turns around and smacks you in the face. Gives you a new son to deal with because of it. One thing I know for sure, since I was 9 years old, I've been tortured by the idea that I was one man's son by birth and another man's son because he was kind enough to love me. If it's all the same to you, I'd kind of like to be one and the same for Damon. I mean, I feel like life is saying, okay, here you go, Thaddeus, here's another chance. Just don't screw it up. You know, and I know that from the outside he looks like a mess, but he's my mess, you know. I have these feelings, you know, I don't know why. Just he's starting to have these fatherly feelings for the kid.
You love him. That's a good thing. It's so funny. I mean, it really is, you know.
Funny?
Well, no, I mean...
It's hysterical. I can barely get through it without dying of
What I mean is, like, you go along in your life, you know, and all of a sudden out of the clear blue sky, just... I mean, I've sort of started to have these same feelings lately.
About your kids? I mean, not about Jamie. Nothing happened, right?
No. Adam. I've been having these feelings about Adam.
Wait.
No, all right?
No, you and
stop.
Adam. You and Adam. After
Our friends, we have become very close. Interesting, but that's enough. It's just surprising, you know, that after so many years of the pain and the lies and it's just so
complicated.
And it's not just the two of us sorting out our emotions now.
Annie.
Yeah. I mean, I moved out of the house once before, and everything inside is screaming, telling me I should move out for good. You know, because it's obvious that I'm creating this terrible strain in their relationship.
So why are you still there?
Because Adam is sick, and he needs somebody to help him and to look after him. And I just feel that Annie is not that person right now.
And you are.
All right, let's get this thing underway. That's better. What we have here is a case of the lion in winter. The whisper of mortality has never been louder in my ear, which means, I think, that I'm human.
Come on, Dad, you're just being melodramatic to get attention.
Everyone knows you're not human, Dad. You eat mere mortals for breakfast.
I've decided to remove myself from Chandler Enterprises. It won't be easy. It's been my life, but I'm going to have to stop it because I don't want it to be my life.
You know, you said that when you announced the Merit Trust, and it didn't stick then any more than it does now. This company's what gets you up in the morning.
After this latest heart scare, I'd really have no choice. I plan to be living quite a few years down the road, and I hope to enjoy them in good health.
You'll outlive us all.
Of course he will.
JR, Scott, the company is yours as of this moment. You're in control. I, for one, am going to be looking savagely around to find what is really the most important thing in my life. But I don't have to. It's right here in front of me. All of you. My family.
I want you right now.
No, Annie, we can't do this.
I'm begging you. Make love to me.
Do you realize what a tramp you sound like, what you look like? How could you do this to my father?
I can't help myself. I want you, JR. I need you. You're all I think about.
You may not care about my father, but I do. And he's gonna find out about this because I have it all right here. Shot by shot of your betrayal.
This has all been very hard to admit to myself. But I can be a stubborn old jackass, so I'm told.
You are also a brilliant businessman who has built a strong company, strong enough to survive even your leaving.
Absolutely. It's time for us all to come together. To build on what my father started, to make a real family effort.
Happy anniversary, Mr. Chandler.
Same to you, Mrs. Chandler. You know, it's been a whole year and it still feels like we're on our honeymoon. I love you so much. Chandler's back on top. stronger than ever. That is my promise to you, Dad.